Hi everybody, today I'm here with the fabulous Lindsay Webster, and we're going to share her story with you, which is a beautiful one of helping young people to blossom. But first of all, I just want you to share a bit about you and what has inspired you and brought you to what you do now.
Okay. Well, obviously, you're a large part of that. So when our paths crossed, you really inspired me. And when I met you, I wasn't in a great place emotionally and physically myself. So I was very unwell. I'd had shingles probably 6 or 7 times in 9 months when we first met. And at that point, I didn't actually realise that it's my own emotional baggage that I was carrying that was causing me such distress. And it's that, and through the teachings and the inspiration from you, that it made me take a step back and think, hang on a minute, I have a choice. I can carry on being the victim and being ill, or I can do something different. And that's what you brought to me. So I stopped making myself so busy and started to accept the past, changed my views on what had happened, so I was no longer the victim. And just by making that simple change of actually saying I had to go through those traumas and all those issues myself, because if I didn't, I couldn't be credible and help anybody else. And then everything started to change from that point, which it took me a while. And I ignored the signs and, the intuition. And then it dawned on me that actually I had to go through that journey to be able to help the young people and their parents that I help now. And, my message is that we can choose to be the victim, or we can choose a different path for ourselves. And lucky me, I chose not to be the victim anymore. And I think what changed that is I saw a quote. I was always saying, I wish I could change the past. I wish this didn't happen. I wish that didn't happen. And I saw a quote that said, there's a reason why the rear view mirror is so small and the windscreen is so large. And that's because where you're headed is much more important than where you've left behind. And that was the turning point for me. It really was the turning point. And, I can't say it wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy journey. It was ugly, it was tough, it was hard work, but it was worth it.
Yeah, and that's the important point. It's very worth it. And you are worthy of it as well, everybody. And yes, it is a choice. It is a choice, and it is listening to those gut instincts. It's getting back to the intuition, because we just get stuck in the humdrum and we end up getting in worse health, and got to do this again today, but Groundhog Day sort of thing, and we just lose ourselves completely when we get on that little treadmill, don't we? And there's so many people out there that are on it, and you see these little mice running around on a little wheel in a cage. It's like, yes. It's representative, isn't it?
Yeah, we become so disconnected from ourselves. I didn't realize that my body was sending me those signals because I was so disconnected. And it wasn't until I went on that journey, which I'm still on. I'm 2-3 years in, I still think I'm at the beginning of that journey, but I'm more in tune with, as you say, gut instinct. I've lost the ability to read things or trust my gut, and I think so many people are like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. And it's wonderful that they can all now queue up to be helped by you, Lindsay, because you know what it's about. And, you know, but what I love about you as well is you're not only focusing, yes, you're on your journey. We all are on our journey, no matter how much we know of everything and all that is, we're still learning every day of our lives. That never stops. But what I love about you particularly is you've taken the initiative and you've like said, young people need to know this so they never get where I am.
Yes.
That's how you've used it, which is fabulous. Yeah. So do speak about that for us.
Yeah, well, again, as we've talked about a lot, is that, you know, it's far easier to try and prevent things from happening than to try and cure it when it's too late. And speaking from my own experience, my niece in her early teens suffered with really bad anxiety. She'd had, you know, various traumas, and the school labelled her as an attention seeker, and I wasn't trained at the time to pick up the signals, and I wasn't consciously aware of her struggles. And unfortunately, she went down the CAMS route. She tried to take her own life several times, you know, really bad self-harm, and that can be prevented. She ended up in a young person's mental health institution for 2 years of her teen life, and I wouldn't say she came out any better. So that was the real kick up the arse for me to say, this is something that can be prevented. So just by saving one more precious life or preventing one more precious person from self-harm is what it's about for me. That prevention, that education for parents as well, to say, actually, if your child their behaviour starts to change, there's a reason for that. All behaviour serves a purpose. And young people's behaviour, even children of 5, 6 and 7, they struggle with these big emotions. They don't understand them, and they're managed by them. So they need us to help them to understand it and to take the control back, so that they're not defined by their behaviour and these big scary emotions. And there's so much, I feel so passionate that a lot of it is preventable. And that's what I need to do. I need to educate, I need to spread the word, I need to help I can in schools, wherever, to re-educate parents, to help children and young people know that they have the choice and they can do something about it.
Yeah, and that's your purpose really now, isn't it? That's really what drives you forward in all that you do now. Yeah.
It is, and I was in the corporate world for many years, and I thought, you know, that's where I wanted to be, but I always had this little niggle and always had this drive and desire to help people, but I ignored it. I ignored it for so long until it hit me in the face. It literally hit me in the face, and I was like, okay, I hear you, and now's the time. I think my time as a caterpillar in a cocoon has come to an end. I've outgrown that cocoon and I've got my wings, and now I'm ready.
Yeah, I can see you are, because you're just glowing there. And as I say, I know you for a few years from where you were in the thick of the stuff that we're talking about from the past stuff. And you're just in a space now and you're like, standing in your power, you're claiming who you are, and you know what you're doing with you, and that's, you know, and to give that possibility to a young person to have the consciousness enough to nurture a young person to be who they are, so they don't go down the route of all that nonsense first, is so much needed in the world, because there's so much more turbulence in the youngsters, and it's because they're not heard, they're not nurtured, they're not respected for the level of wisdom they may have, and the gifts that they have. It's like, you will do this because you'll get good money, or you will do that because you know it's what I do, or whatever it is. And they're not heard if they want to be different. And what I love,
not accepted,
yeah, that's it.
It's not accepted. Difference is not celebrated.
Yeah. And that's what's wonderful about you, is that you celebrate it, and you help them to celebrate it, and teach their parents to celebrate it, which is even better.
Yeah, and it's letting go of all that judgment, and it's, as parents, I think they worry about what others are going to say, and they put all these other blocks in the way of young people blossoming into who they want to be. And I'm very passionate about actually let them be who they want to be. Let's support them and guide them on their journey to greatness, because if we don't, we're squeezing the life out of them, and they just bumble along life, and they don't have a purpose. And I can resonate with that. I didn't have a purpose, a true purpose for many years, and once you get that purpose, it just ignites something in you, and it's an amazing feeling. So I just want everybody out to be able to ignite their true purpose as well.
Yeah, and that, I mean, it's like you were saying, there's a part of us, there's many levels to a person, many layers to a person. But there's what I refer to as the I am, that always kind of keeps you on track some way. It's like you were in the corporate world, so you had a big voice somewhere, because corporation is big, but it wasn't in the realms of helping people as you in your own way at all. But it was on the right track. And this is something that is key to it as well. Note your skills, note what you're good at, note what you're passionate about around things that you enjoy around what you're doing, and seek something that is but encompasses everything that you love. And that's what you've done, and that's what you help others to do as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because we ignore those little beacons of light, those little seeds that are sown to help us take the right path. And I think I was just so busy and focused on, I had a very successful career. I had to be busy, because I think that took me away from my own struggles and the things I had to face. I chose, carrying on and, stiff upper lip and off we go. And it wasn't until I got knocked over that I stopped and took a breath and woke up and realised that I couldn't carry on like this. And being in that corporate world, every day that went on, a little piece of me fizzled out. So I lost who I was.
Yeah.
And it's lovely to get me back. And as I say, I love who I've become now. It was tough getting her back. And, as I say to anybody, it isn't easy. Following your dreams or choosing the right path is not the easy path. It's the tough one. But it's worth it. And if that's what you truly want, you've got to climb those mountains. You've got to trawl through the jungle or do whatever you've got to do to get there. And that's what makes it worthwhile. And, you know, once you've got to your true purpose and the step of your real journey, you'll realize that you had to go through all that.
Yeah, and that's the important point as well, because it's all, you know, when all those parts of your journey that when you're going through, you really curse like fury when you're not realizing what's going on. When you actually come out the other side and you look back, you think, oh, actually, I got that from that and that from that. Yeah,
yeah. But I think that's the message, is that I think people think that suddenly if you know, sort of like go towards the right path, it's all, you know, skipping down the street and it's all lovely. It's not. It's tough. It's ugly. It's challenging. You know, I've had tears. I've had all sorts. But then, if it was easy, I'd have nothing to share with these youngsters and parents. I'd have no credibility. I couldn't help them transform their lives and overcome trauma if I hadn't been through it myself. So now I see why I was selected to go through that journey. Because at the time I was quite bitter. Why me? Victim. You know, and I wore the victim hat very, very well. It fitted me very well, and I was quite reluctant to let go of it because I didn't know who I'd be without it. And that was tough, but I did let it go. And as I say, you know, as I got to the other end, I realized why I had to go through that, so that I could share my challenges. I could empathize with, you know, these youngsters that are at the time going through hell possibly and having, you know, a real tough time.
Yeah. I mean, you made a really good point that to be in your truth, stand in your power, and to claim that it's not a journey for the faint-hearted. It is a journey that really takes you some showing up, doesn't it? You really have to kind of go the who am I and what am I about to get over it, don't you? That's, you know.
Yeah, it's almost it tears you down to you back up again. And you know, I had some really, really tough days. I had to put my big girl's pants on and, you know, march on forward, which, you know, some days I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to face the day sometimes, but I had this inner strength that I found, I don't know where from, and I was like, I will not be beaten. I will get through this. There is something better ahead. That's all I kept saying to myself. I knew there would be, I just didn't know what it would look like or how I'd get there or when I'd get there. But I did. I have.
Yeah, and that's the I'm going to call it the leap of faith moment. You have no idea, but you're just going to jump and see what happens anyway.
Yeah. It's like...
Yeah, and that's why one of the divine attributes is courage, because, you know, it's not, as I say, it's not for the faint-hearted. There's a lot of fear involved in it too, but it's whether or not you do it anyway. That's the thing. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And it's, you know, there's a lot of looking inwards. You know, there's a lot of analysing, you know, yourself and being more aware. I think awareness was a big one for me, and acceptance. I didn't realise how powerful that was, and how I started to accept things for as they were and not wish I could change them or wish they hadn't happened or wish this or wish that. I accepted things, you know, I accepted that, you know, things that had happened along my journey happened for a reason. I accepted that people that I came into contact with were only as good as the skills that they'd got. And that was quite powerful to accept that and not wish for something else.
Yeah, because that's an important point as well that you've just made there, the fact that we actually are all equal beings. No one is more than anyone else, and no matter what the labels may be that they have all around them, they are only as good as they put out, what the skills are. And you know, as you claim your power, as Lindsay has, the more you step into it, the more you can give out. You know, the more you connect with in your inner strength, the more source flows through, and the more, you know, sovereignty you have, and the more you can, the more that you stand in your power, the more you can give. And that's kind of the message of that, I feel.
Absolutely. And I think if I was able to make all my dreams come true, I would be looking at the circle of life, where we help parents before they become parents, before they make that conscious choice of becoming a parent. We make sure that they are pure souls, and we stop the cycle. We give children, the best chance possible before they're conceived. To me, that's where it starts. It starts before they're beginning. That's a whole another big thing. That's on my to-do list. At the moment, I'm focusing on helping young people.
Yeah. But in helping young people, you're creating that in the first place, aren't you? Because they're already going to be there at that time anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. And they can break the cycle for future generations. But ideally, I would love to help parents before they consciously choose to become parents, to make sure that they, in your way, are pure beings, and give their children the best chance possible without the emotional baggage and all the human emotions that get passed on. That's my next challenge.
Oh, it is. This has been something that's been there in the ether for a year and a half, I think.
It has.
Yeah. It's time to bring it down, isn't it, Lindsay? Yeah. Yes, you're absolutely right.
It is, and we said that when it was the right time, we'd know, and it is the right time. All these wonderful people that you've brought together, it just cements the fact that there's enough wonderful beings out there to make a true difference.
Yeah. And
that's why it's so wonderful to be part of this, because it is about making a difference.
It is. It's about restoration and showing people and allowing people to learn how to be, to learn to realize that they are good enough the way they are, and they don't have to follow anybody else's imprint. They can follow their own imprint, and just make their world a lot brighter through it. Through creating, because we are creator beings, are we not?
Yeah. And as when you first said to me, would you come on and speak? And I said to you, well, I've got nothing to share. Well, here I am. You got here. And I think that's important, that everybody's got something that will help someone.
Yeah. Yeah, I have tears in my eyes right now in the joy of the fact that we're speaking about this and we're actually going out with it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No longer just behind the walls, it's out in the big wide world.
Yeah, you've done it now, love. No going back. You can't change your mind.
No.
So what is it?
No.
Hold on tight and enjoy the
hold on
ride.
tight, everybody. We're off.
Yeah.
Fasten your seatbelts. Whee!
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important to say that, you know, we're here in this space, and there's a lot of people. It's not going to be easy for us, because there's going to be other things that, you know, some people aren't going to like, that's going to test us, and there'll be blocks and bridges and walls in our way. But
that's the beauty of a group of pure individuals, and pure authentic individuals, because you can always somehow get over the walls. It's a lot easier when you're in a group, and make those powerful ripples of change happen a lot faster with a powerful group as well. And there's a lot of power in this group. There's a lot of powerful people here, with lovely messages as well. And yeah, and I just love yours. Because, you know, yeah, because we've been through a lot together, haven't we? And yeah, we actually, I think, met up about a year ago for the first time, even though we've been speaking a lot before that. And it just kind of, it was, to me, that was kind of a yes moment. That was kind of really started this off for me, that moment there. And actually, you've always been a core part of it. So yeah, just thank you for being you, Lindsay. No matter what stage you're at, you've always been there and part of it. So yeah, it's always a joy.
And always will be. You know, as I said to you, I am at the beginning of my journey, and you know, I use a different language to everybody else. But you know, there's going to be people out there that haven't discovered the journey they need to go on, and I think it's quite good that they can realise that actually it doesn't matter what their beliefs are or what language they use. There's something for everybody, wherever they are on their journey, spiritual or not. This is for everybody. This is really going to be the driving force to make a change in the world. And as you say, excuse my French, it's a bloody tough world out there. And if we all stick together, boy, we're going to make a difference. And that's what gives me tingles now. I've got tingles. The fact that we are going to make such a difference.
Yeah, that's whenever that sort of thing is mentioned, I get heat flowing through. My hands are on fire right now. And yeah. It's like, oh, I've got to play, I've got to do something. Yeah. It's definitely time to make it happen. And you know, when you think, no matter where humanity is at, they've been asking for it for such a long time, and you know, it's time that their prayers were answered, and we're the answer to it, the pure authentic answer to it. And yeah, thank you so much for always being part of it, Lindsay. It's lovely.
Absolute pleasure. And I love spending time with you, be it virtually or face to face, because you are so full of joy. And as you can tell, I can't stop beaming when I'm in company, and it's wonderful. It's lovely. And I am so proud to be part of this. And now I know why our paths crossed.
Yes. It was all, yes. Always meant. Always meant. Lovely. So, Lindsay, is there anything really pressing on your heart space right now that you want to share with everybody as a message of you?
I think it's watch out, world. I'm ready. Here I come. And I just feel really lucky. I feel really lucky to be able to help young people and their parents. It really fulfills me to see them grow as individuals from, I suppose, from broken souls that feel that that's going to define them, to these beautiful beings that just blossom and are amazing. And it really, every day I just, as I say, feel so lucky to be able to do that. And if it saves one more life or saves one more young person from hurting themselves, that's enough for me.
Yeah, that's it's a beautiful message. Yeah, you just actually touched on something else there, because it's all part of young people being understood, which is what you're about, and you do so beautifully. But I don't know about anywhere else, and someone else that we've interviewed, you'll see, has mentioned it as well, but there has been a suicide prevention MP been hired, hasn't there? In the UK, yeah. How for young people, okay? So how bad is the situation that right now for that to have been created? And what a blessing you are, Lindsay, to just show up and already be the counteractive force to stop all that trauma and give those young people their voices and allow their messages to shine out and be understood. So that's how important you are right now, and how important your message is and how much it's required. So thank you very, very much for showing up here.
Oh, you're more than welcome, and it's it's really important to me as well, because medication is not the answer. All of this can be preventable with a bit of love, a bit of empathy, giving them a voice and helping them cope with what they're dealing with, so that we don't have to medicate them and stick them in a box. And that's my mission. Break the boxes.
Yay, we've got a few little bulldozers here of different varieties that we have. All with powerful voices. It's like, right, I'm ready. Off we go. Yeah. And it's just so nice to put you out there in your own special and unique ways that you have. And, Lindsay's message is wonderful, everybody, and she's waiting to help you, young people, to shine your gifts and talents, purposes. Parents, she's there to help you as well, to understand your children, and if they're different, to nurture them, and to be successful in their purposes in life, and understand that through helping them achieve their purpose, you will feel more fulfilled and even be inspired to create yourself through seeing them be creative. So Lindsay in her own right is a fabulous ripple effect for everybody, and you can connect with her directly through our website. It's atoughworldouthere.com. And Lindsay, is there anything else that you want to say to everybody?
No, I think I've said it all, and you summed it up so well, Ben. So just don't sit and suffer. Reach out. There's so much help that yourself and Heather are putting out there, and it's use it. It's a strength to ask for help. It's not a weakness.
Absolutely. Good message. Thank you, Lindsay.
You're very welcome.